You are a guardian angel and designer. What the f is you talking about, man? You are not from Harlem. Why do you keep thinking that you are from Harlem, bro? You are not from Harlem. I did not grow up with you, man. Do you remember how we met? Pause. Not met. How you got cool with us?
What if everything you admired about Dipset's rise, the pink Lamborghinis, the diplomatic swagger, the dozens of street DVDs, the infamous pink fur coat at Madison Square Garden, the belief that a tight-knit Harlem Brotherhood muscled its way from mixtape hustlers to rap royalty was balanced on one carefully polished half-truth? In February 2025, Jim Jones rolled out. At the church steps, a spiritual sequel to his 2004 debut, and scheduled a coast-to-coast media run to remind everyone why capo culture mattered. 24-hour playlists on Apple Music and Discogs pre-orders spiked. Yet that same week, Cameron hijacked the internet with a scorching rant. You were a fan, not the founder, and you're not from Harlem. The clip lit up XXL's homepage, flooded Twitter with reposts, and split comment sections in two. Suddenly, 20 years of Dipset lore felt less like gospel and more like a game of telephone. Tonight, we dig through every receipt, forgotten DVD interviews, Patreon podcasts, and glitchy IG lives to see whether Capo's legend can survive a forensic rewind.
I was the CEO of Diplomats. I made Diplomats with him. I was with him for every bit of his journey. I held him down.
You was a fan. You begged us. You are a fan, nigga. A fan. So you can sit around and act like you've been around all this Harlem and everything. You ever see somebody from Harlem try to act like they from Harlem so bad that you got to keep saying, I'm from Harlem? From Harlem know who's from Harlem. You don't have to keep saying you from Harlem. Yeah.
Cam's January 13th, 2025 livestream didn't just throw shade, it detonated a timeline. The Harlem Raconteur laid it out plain. Jim supposedly begged outside 140th Street, praised early Children of the Corn freestyles, and wrangled an invitation upstairs. Nothing more glamorous than persistence mixed with luck. Within minutes, Hip Hop DX clipped the juiciest bars, and Harlem group chats started comparing memories. Hours later, Mase popped up on Instagram Live, popcorn bowl waving, insisting he showed Jim how to count bars, write 16s, and smooth out breath control back in '97. Fans dug up Capo's own 2013 podcast where he laughs, Mase coached me in the booth. For listeners who grew up on Jim's boast that he ran the whole organization, the contradiction stung and screenshots flew across Reddit. Yet paperwork is thin. Jim's birth certificate lists the Bronx. Most classmates remember him splitting teenage weekends between Fordham Road and Harlem pickup games. The borough line doesn't decide credibility, but in uptown etiquette, claiming a block you can't document is social quicksand. Every top comment under Cam's video asked the same thing. Where are Jim's day one Harlem cosigns? But the loudest rebuttal wouldn't come from Cam or Mase. It would come from Jim's own archived words. Reddit detectives clipped a 2014 Vlad TV sit-down where a fresh-faced Jim grins, Mase taught me how to rap, and Cam put me on every album. That throwback, spliced next to his 2025 extra-large interview calling himself CEO of the Diplomats, felt like a courtroom exhibit complete with timestamps. TikTok creators built 3-panel edits, humble gratitude on the left, iron-fisted origin claims on the right, reaction memes down the middle, racking up a million loops before breakfast. Even diehard Capo supporters began debating whether the rewrite was subconscious or strategic branding. Does a decade of success blur memory, or was myth-making baked into the Dipset rollout from day one? Social media loves an expose, and within 48 hours, #FanOrFounder trended worldwide on X, dragging old Freaky Zeke interviews and MySpace blog posts back into daylight. And that's when a very different voice entered the chat, eager to defend Jim, but carrying his own baggage. Industry videographer turned commentator Choke No Joke hopped on Hype Plus live in early April declaring, "There's no Dipset without Jim, he was the gang muscle. The set name comes from him." He argued that draping the crew in red bandanas made backstage hallways safer on tour stops Brooklyn crews wouldn't dare cross alone. Context matters. Choke's history with Cam is glacier cold after a 2010 backstage shove match over documentary royalties. Still, his testimony complicates the just a fan jab. Jules Santana later echoed a piece of that story on Twitch. Yes, Apartment 5H, Jim's crib, served as Dipset HQ. a rotating studio where verses were written, phones answered, and outside problems handled by Jim's contacts. No one disputes that logistical muscle. The debate is who steered the musical vision. The takeaway. Jim's value to Dipset was tangible but likely tactical more than creative. Harlem Lore hands the architect crown to the visionary, not the enforcer. Meanwhile, Capo refused to stay silent. He weaponized every microphone in sight to push the new album, dropping his 8th solo LP mere weeks after Cam's viral drag looked almost scripted. Marketing blogs hailed it as a masterclass in earned media. Unofficial chart trackers claimed Spotify plays doubled the opening week numbers of 2023's Back to El Barrio. Whether by design or divine coincidence, YouTube thumbnails featuring Jim's fur-trimmed hoodie dominated Up Next carousels for a month. The record itself leans on sped-up soul chops, church organs, and back-against-the-wall lyrics. A deliberate echo of diplomatic immunity. Skeptics called it Harlem cosplay. Nostalgic fans hit repeat for the throwback feel. Either way, chatter converted to clicks, and every stream bolstered Capo's stance that controversy sells. And to pour kerosene on the fire, Jim hit every media desk from Hot 97 to sneaker shopping. From The Breakfast Club to Cam Capone, Capo hammered 2 messages. Cam and Mase were chasing clout, and he was too busy chasing bags. Then, February 27th landed. On a late-night podcast, he barked, "Set up the ring, 10 million on the table. I'll box Cam on PPV." Hip Hop DX blasted the headline before sunrise. Sports betting sites even floated odds. Irony soaked each soundbite. How do you call beef petty while monetizing it with prize fight theatrics? Comment sections roasted the contradiction, but curiosity drove traffic. Even casual rap fans clicked just to watch the gifs of Cam shadowboxing in pink mink. Yet, circus antics won't shore up credibility, especially once the trash talk turns personal. March 4th, 2025, rolling out. Post Jim's phone interview slamming Mace's weight. Bad body at treadmill time. Then doubling down. Yeah, I'm body shaming, so what? Uptown etiquette says mocking looks when receipts are requested screams deflection. Cam sees the moment, reviving a legendary tale of Jim sprinting barefoot across a Florida beach to dodge a rival entourage, raising fresh doubts about who really lives like a capo. In Harlem, earned stripes top loud bark. Every petty jab chipped away at Jim's protector aura and fed Cam's narrative. Real builders don't need to belittle bricklayers, they let the bricks speak. That set the stage for the deeper question: borrowed shine versus built legacy. Strip away gossip and one conflict remains. Can a crew thrive when its pillars remember day one differently? Jim's allies insist that without his muscle, Cam's pink fur moment might have escalated into chaos. Cam and Mase counter that without their pen games, Jim would still be hustling mixtapes outside the sideline store. Both views hold grains of truth: loyalty, hustle, vision, paranoia. Zoom out and hip-hop offers parallels: Rick Ross, fielding corrections officer leaks, Drake sidestepping ghostwriter accusations. Authenticity wars are evergreen because rap is part sport, part memoir. The Dipset schism magnifies the core dilemma. Is identity earned by paperwork, survival skills, or cultural imprint? Meanwhile, fans have become detectives, comparing flow cadences from 2001 bootlegs, scrubbing interviews for timeline slips, mapping who was in which studio on what night. Conclusion: charisma can't prop up legacy once the receipts surface. Which brings us back to the shattered mirror Jim, Cam, and Mase now stare into. Harlem has always graded its giants on consistency. Stories that change with the crowd eventually snap under their own edits. Jim's saga shows how easily yesterday's gratitude morphs into today's bravado. Cam and Mace's crusade proves why you lock your narrative before someone else frames it. So where does truth finally rest? Somewhere between Jim's ground-level muscle, Cam's board-level vision, and Mace's studio-level mentorship. Remove any one beam and the Dipset skyscraper wobbles. The lesson is clear: in 2025, receipts outlive reputation, and borrowed shine fades faster under LED lights. If this deep dive flipped your lens, smack the like, file your verdict below, and subscribe for more untold hip-hop history. Share the link, because legends deserve scrutiny as much as celebration, and every myth gets stronger or weaker in the open.